We're all about the Archers. I'm Philippa and I'm joined by Katie and Quentin today because we are here to talk to the wonderful Jackie Lye, who plays the even more wonderful, if it's possible, Joy Horville. Jackie, welcome to the podcast.
It's lovely to be here. Really lovely.
It's such a joy to hear Joy. Is she a joy to play?
She is. I love playing Joy. I really do. I really do. I think she's lovely. I mean, I know I'm a bit biased, but I think she's just one. I mean, she started off and she got on everybody's nerves. So I think she was nervous and in a new place. But now she's a bit more settled. I think she's just kind and warm, and everyone should have a joy in their life, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good way to put it. Was she originally going to just be a small part that then grew bigger? Or do you know when you kind of start these kind of things, how long you might be in it for?
You know, you never do. And I'm sure every actor probably that you talk to says the same thing. All I knew was that they wanted her, she was coming from another area. So obviously once they cast me, that was going to be Newcastle. And that you didn't know very much about her or why she'd moved. And that was really it. I think originally I did 6 episodes when I first came in. And then I realised that they were just booking me for more. And I was like, oh, okay, this is nice. And I think you never know and you never take anything for granted because they can always send her back, you know. So, you know, hopefully it's 4 years now, 4.5 years I've been in it now. Can't believe it, I know.
It's interesting that you said they can always send her back because we had Jeremy Howe on a couple of weeks ago, the editor.
Lovely Jeremy.
Yeah, and in a way he doesn't know either. But that's what the impression we got, that a new character might come along and he thinks, there's some potential with this character. But they haven't decided when they introduce the character that they have the potential that they develop. Was that your impression?
Yes, definitely. And I think obviously there will be some characters who come in who they know it's going to be a reveal to something. But I think with most of them that maybe are going to stay and live in Ambridge, that they'll just see how it goes. And like you say, some characters sort of settle and land and they go with it. And then maybe others, I don't know, maybe others just don't stick around for whatever reason. But I think you're right. I don't think they know particularly. They've got an idea probably where it might go. You know, we've got hints about Joy, but,
yes.
I don't know anything.
We'll get on to those. We'll get on those hints in a minute. But I mean, Jeremy was saying he directed the breakfast scene between the Horrobins, and when he at the outset he said, I realised I didn't really know much about the Horrobins, and then as he directed the scene, he thought, my word, we got gold dust here, and has developed the Horrobins as a family ever since.
Wow. That's really interesting. Yeah. Because obviously every time, the editor changes, there'll be a slightly different focus.
Yes.
And I know that before Jeremy came in, Susie Riddell, who plays Tracy, had quite a while with not very much at all. And then I think Jeremy was like, I love this character.
Yeah.
And so it can go that way as well. So, we're all at the mercy of writers and editors and also, the lovely fans and listeners, what they take to and stuff like that.
You're all right, Joy. They love you.
Well, they didn't at first.
No, they didn't.
I remember the first couple of episodes and then I'll go and have a look on Twitter, X now, isn't it? Yeah. And I was like, oh, they hate her. Oh my God, this is terrible. But then they love to, people love to, like myself as a listener, I love to get annoyed at a character and shout at the radio. So
there's always resistance initially to new characters, always.
Yeah.
Tough crowd.
Oh, you are, but you're worth cracking.
Actually, so Jackie, you've been there 4 years, but since you arrived, there's been more new characters. So do you feel that you're still a newbie, or do you think you're an oldie now, or you're sort of in-betweeny? Where do you fit in the...
I'm thinking in-betweeny, because you have, the characters all have gaps where you're not in it, so you can not be there for a little bit. So every time you go back, I always feel a little bit nervous and a little bit like a newbie again. And it, compared to most of the established characters and actors, it's really not very long at all, 4 years. Some of them have been 15, 20, 25, as you know. So I am still a newbie.
So if you weren't playing Joy, what other character would you like to play?
Oh, wow. That's a really good question. I love Tracy Horrobin. I love Tracy. I love Linda. I love Lillian. So, yeah, I think probably, and I don't often in my career, I would quite like to play a baddie. Somebody who's awful and, that doesn't come my way very often. But that would be good.
It would be quite good with your voice kind of all light and nice, but then suddenly there's this scary undertone. I think that would be brilliant.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. When you arrived, you're right, there was resistance to you, mainly because everybody thought you were a bit of a busybody as Joy. But she was trying to blend in, wasn't she? Bless her. But in recent months, we've seen a new dimension to Joy, haven't we? Because we had you calming Ben down during his panic attack, and
that's right.
Helen was leaning on Joy at the height of the Rob crisis. Have you enjoyed developing your character in this way?
Oh, it's been lovely. It's a real joy, use that word, when the scripts come and you get them. Quite often come on a Saturday morning and I just get a cup of coffee and sit down and read them all. And it's just fantastic to see where all the characters are going, but obviously particularly, you're keen on looking at your own. And I've loved it because it's like, for me as an actor going, you see, this was always there in her, but she, has now got a chance to, people are trusting her more. And because I think she's brave and kind and willing to help anybody really. And it's lovely to see that coming out. Yeah, it's really nice. I love her friendship with Helen. It's really nice.
Yeah. And before we started recording, I mean, you keep a note of all this, don't you, Jackie?
I do. Shall I show you my book? Look.
Show us your book.
There's my book, The Archer's book. I don't know why I started it, but I think it's because I've got a terrible memory. And I started off just so that I would know who'd written the episodes, who directed them, so I could look back. And then I thought, I'll just put a little note about what Joy was up to. It's very funny because before I did this, I thought I'll have a little look. And I was having a laugh at all the hot tub stuff. Yeah, just looking back. So it's just a few little notes or like things like the name of your cat and just things so that you've got them there as little reminders, Though they do keep us on track, obviously. They're brilliant about all that.
What do you call it? Joy's journals, do you?
Yeah. Do you know that? I'm gonna pinch that. Yeah,
you
Joy's
can have that,
journals.
Jackie.
I will. Thank you. I've got that. Thanks, Quentin.
But Jackie,
I'm gonna write that down.
A fact that appeared recently that we weren't sure about was you had green gloves that you'd got from Seville. Are you aware of Joy going to Seville, or was that just a complete shock for you?
It was a complete shock. I think from just little things they've said, she does like to travel and she does, bless her, like to try languages, which she's awful at. So I don't know. I get the feeling that was one of her maybe a lone trip. No, just expanding her horizons. I think for quite a while, I think she's been lonely and a loner. And so I think, she probably just took herself off, for a bit of culture. Bought her gloves. Yeah. That's right. I'd forgotten about that.
I feel like Mick and Joy need a holiday.
Mick, we haven't seen him or heard from him for a while, have we? Be interesting. He certainly hasn't been around for a while. Right. And I know that one day when I was with Helen, he rang in the shop and I went, I'll ring him back. And I thought, right, that's like a bit dismissive. So I don't know, but it would be fun to see them have a bit of an adventure, I think. That could be quite a nice little departure. But we'll see. Who knows?
I mean, talking of Mick, as we know, Joy doesn't mind showing a bit of flesh. I mean, you modelled for the art class and you jump in hot tubs with Mick in his Speedos.
She's not approved, is she? No, she's not.
But many of us, the listeners, Jackie, would love to see. We'd love to see. Thank God it's radio. And we'd love to see Joy's.
It's radio.
We'd love to see Joy's backstory fleshed out.
Oh yes, wow.
Get to know more of you. Can you tell us whether any of her backstory is in the pipeline without giving anything away? Are we going to find out more?
I hope so. I genuinely don't know.
Yeah.
But I've been, even just as a listener, listening to things in the recent scripts, and there's a lot of things where she says family's everything, and oh, you don't know how lucky you are having your family around. So I'm like, ooh,
Yes.
because does that mean we're going to find out a bit more? But I genuinely don't know. I hope so.
Will we
4
ever?
years is a long time of thinking.
know.
Will we meet Rochelle?
Yes. Will we?
The blooming Rochelle. My Rochelle. My Rochelle can do that. My Rochelle should be doing this. She's much better technically than I am.
Do you think she exists, Jackie? Does Rochelle exist?
Do you know what? I do. I do.
Right.
I think something's happened in the family.
Okay.
Because I would just love to meet this, because I think she could be a real horror. Real horror.
Yeah.
Something's happened, and yeah.
Right.
Honestly, the same as like people ask me, and I go, I genuinely don't know. I'd like to know as much as you would. She dropped some hint that she had a bad marriage or something, but she doesn't talk much about it. So it's all there to be revealed.
Oh.
And talking about
Hopefully.
children, Jackie, you also have been acting a lot, or some scenes with Henry, played by Blake Darby, who seems to me an extraordinarily talented young man. What's it like? Because you're acting really
Doesn't he?
crucial scenes, but with someone so young. How does that dynamic work?
He's fabulous. Like, honestly, he's really, really natural. You don't even have to guide him through it. He just seems to understand it. Obviously, either his mum and the chaperone probably go through things with him. And he's had some tricky stuff to do, hasn't he? Emotional and to be upset. But he's lovely. He's really nice to be around. He's a lovely young man, and we're all really happy, really happy. He's great. So hopefully he'll be around, hopefully for a long while. I mean, he could be like some of the others who start off as children and continue playing the part into adulthood, couldn't he? Who knows? Just don't know.
Become one of those green room regulars. That would be really nice.
He could.
What was it like the first time you walked into that green room?
Really scary, really scary. And I haven't done a lot of radio before. Like, some people who come into the Archers have done like the radio rep, or they've done a lot, but I hadn't. So it was a new world. And just things like stepping into the studio and looking at how it's set up, and was really daunting. But, people are on the whole friendly, but you are walking into institutions. It's like, I imagine, I've never been in it, but going into Coronation Street and walking onto the cobbles and meeting characters who you've grown up with. It's quite strange. So the Archers is a bit like that, really.
Yeah.
Having listened to it, but as I say, I still get a bit nervous going in. It's still a bit, and it's so nice when you see people that you know quite well, like Sonny Ormond, who plays Lillian. We've been friends for a lot of years. We worked in theatre together years and years ago. So I love it if she's there, because it's a, really lovely, friendly face to, go and have a hug with. So, but
I was going to tell you, Jackie, that the crime writer Anne Cleves was our guest last week. But you know already, because you've listened to the podcast.
I did listen to the podcast. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I love her. But also I was quite excited. Well, I was thrilled that she's an Archers fan, because we actually live in the same town. And I've seen her around and about and never spoken to her, because you don't, do you? You know someone and you're like, oh, that's Anne Cleves. But next time I'm going to be brave, and I'm going to go up to her and I'm going to say, I believe you're an Archers fan. Love to the podcast, and introduce myself.
Well, you must.
I'm going to do it.
You must, because as you heard,
I will.
She's a North Tyneside like you, and she's Team Joy over Team Ruth, isn't she?
I was, because when she first mentioned Joy, she said something about, she was, they've made out, she's a bit saintly. And I thought, does she not like Joy? Does she not? And then later on, she elaborated and she said she did. So I was really pleased that she did. So I can't wait. I can't wait to hopefully bump into her, and I'll take a picture. I'll take a picture.
You must. But
I will.
She did speculate that perhaps, as you heard, that Joy might be a murderer who's out on licence. What did you think of that, Jackie?
Yeah, I think that'd be brilliant, but I don't think it's very likely. Personally, but there's been some great theories from you guys about what she might be. undercover, or she might be under police protection, or lots of different theories. It's probably something much more mundane, but who knows? Who knows? Hopefully we'll find out. I hope so.
We need to ask a very important question, Jackie, about Joy. You know, we've talked about witness protection. Is she a murderer? But this is the vital question. Are you as much of a baker as Joy is? Are you making sakatort all the time?
No, I'm not. I'm really not. What can I make? I make a lovely banana bread. That's about it. And I always still have to follow a recipe, no matter how long I've been cooking something. I still follow a recipe, but no, I haven't got her light touch, I don't think.
But do people bring cakes and biscuits in to the green room, and when you're recording, is there one person who is the baker in the cast?
Not really. If it's someone's birthday, there will. And they all got very excited. I wasn't in studio, but they did they judged a cake competition in the BBC for children in need. And there were some great pictures of them all being very serious about choosing the right cake. And they did get to eat them. So there's lots of cakes that day. But no, funnily enough, I might make a banana bread. I'm going down next week. I might make one, and I'll say this is, influenced by you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, I will make banana bread.
Lovely.
It's the one thing I can do, so I'll do that.
I mean, we can delve into your backstory, Jackie, if not Joy's. Because am I right in thinking that you're also a qualified fitness instructor? Is that right?
Do you know what? That was years ago, and I never really it's that thing, that actors are always looking for some other way of, supplementing income. So years and years ago in London, and I did the course, and then got busy with work and never picked it up again. Just a shame, and I'm too old now. I wouldn't do it now, but I'm lucky now that I haven't, touch wood, had to particularly. One Christmas I worked in John Lewis. That was interesting. When I first moved up here from London, so I was just a shop assistant, but it was lovely with an amazing group of women, and it was, I think it's quite good for us sometimes to step into the real world, as it were, and
it's good source material for an actor, isn't
different.
it? Yeah.
Oh, it was some of the characters, and customers and things, but hard work. My feet were killing me the whole time.
Because am I right? You trained at the Central School of Speech and Drama. Is that right?
I did. Yes, I did.
Are you going to? Can you drop any names who you trained with?
Who did I train with that you would know? Well, lovely Harriet Thorpe is now the landlady of the Queen Vic. Harriet Thorpe is in EastEnders now. The lovely actor Paul Venables, who plays Jacob.
Oh,
you
trained with him.
He was there. Yeah, he was the year below me,
right,
or even maybe 2 years below me. So it's that thing where you know each other, but we weren't in the same year. I'm trying to think, some lovely actors who made it more in America than here, but we were kind of, what would I call us? Like a jobbing year, do you know what I mean? Rather than people going off and being big stars. Everybody works away, but not necessarily big names. I hope I'm offended anybody by forgetting somebody. I don't think so.
Did Jacob go method and actually wear a leather skirt, gladiator style, for that scene, do you know?
I wasn't in. I wish I'd been in. But isn't the imagination a great thing? Because he's so, not straight-laced, but kind of just so not what you would imagine him doing. It was brilliant. I loved it. That was along with kind of hot tub for me and the imagination, Wow, love to have seen that.
Did Mick go method with Speedos?
You know what? Knowing Martin Barras, who plays him, who's lovely, he's an actor that I've worked with for many years. If he'd been given half a chance, he would have done. He's great fun, and if that had been suggested, he'd have been there doing it. But no.
Wonderful.
That means you'd about to go method for.
I know, and that was just not happening. Absolutely not. Oh, I can't think of anything worse. It's like that's when you're really glad it's radio. Like, don't have to do that.
Well, Jackie, when we knew you were coming on, we went onto our Facebook group and asked them what questions they would ask you. And we've got about 9 questions, so we've got a few to get through, if that's okay.
I mean, some of these might have been touched on already, but you might like to amplify still further. So the first one, Jackie, comes from Sarah. She says, make sure Jackie knows she's pretty much the best character. and ask her where she sees Joy in 2 years' time. We haven't heard from Mick in ages. I'd like to know where she'd like the character to go.
Oh, that's a great one. I'm glad she likes Joy. That's great. I'm so happy about that. I think it would be lovely if they developed the Joy and Mick thing, because I think they could be quite funny. I think there's room for a lot of humour in there. And I would like to see them. I would like her to settle down with Mick, but yeah, be big in the village. I think the pair of them are so enthusiastic. You could see them trying to get involved in everything and being at the heart. So, and yeah, I hope so, but who knows? Also, you go as an actor, maybe Mick's got an evil backstory and he's going to steal all her money or something. I don't know. That could happen. She could just fall for him and decide, yes, this is what I want. I'm so happy. And it could all go badly wrong. So who knows?
Maybe he's going to run off with Toya Wilcox, having had her appear in the episode.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he met Toya Wilcox and he met Rylan. I know.
And he chose Joy.
Living the dream. And he chose Joy. I know.
Yay.
Oh, yeah.
The next question is from Rob. And actors often say that the bad guys are the most entertaining to play. How do you feel about playing the almost universally loved Joy Horville? Would you like to have the opportunity for Joy to have a despicable side, which comes out in a future storyline?
Oh, that's so interesting, because we talked a bit earlier, didn't we, about me saying I would quite like to play a baddie. But actually, I feel a bit protective about Joy now. I wouldn't like her to have a despicable side. No, I'd be really sad if that came in. I can't see it because it's not the tiniest inkling of her even being nasty about anybody, really. He's right that actors we do think that we like to play bad, but it's interesting if actors who do play genuinely loved characters, I don't think they do like it if the character becomes unlikable or a baddie. So no, that's a long-winded way of saying no, I don't want her to be a baddie. No, not Joy. She's too nice.
Jackie, the next question is from Annie, who says, oh, lovely Geordie Joy, with a kind heart and a spare bedroom waiting for daughter Rochelle and the grandchildren who never appear. Joy lives next door to Helen. If Jackie could choose which house in Ambridge would she like to live in, and who would she like as a neighbour?
Oh, I think she's really happy where she is. Absolutely. Really happy. She gets on really well with Helen. She loves the boys. I think she loves being like a pseudo granny. So I think she's got what she's happy with. I mean, obviously we don't know what's going to happen with Helen and the boys. And I think she really would hope that they're settled there. She liked Kirsty before as well, didn't she? But I think she feels very comfortable there and settled and wanted and needed, and I think that's what she needs, that. So I think she's really happy where she is.
Because initially she was a bit flirty with Lee, wasn't she, Joy? I thought.
Well, no, I don't think she was. No? I think she's just enthusiastic about people. And do you remember the whole thing about Tony as well a couple of years earlier? And Kat thinking that she was after Tony. I think maybe she latches on to people. Like, maybe not so much now, she's a bit more settled where she lives, but I think she just hooked onto people and liked them and was just a bit much. Yeah. She gets a bit over the top, I think, at times. Yeah. But I didn't feel that she ever really was flirting with him, but it was fun that people thought she might do.
I think she could be good friends with Denise. I just have a feeling, Paul's mum. I think Joy and Denise would get on well.
Yeah. Yes. Actually, I think you're right. That would be nice. Another friend. She's supposed
At least she could move into the spare bedroom then. And she wouldn't have to be living with the others.
Oh, yes, she could move into Joy's. Yeah. Yeah.
And she'd keep the house. She'd keep the house tidy.
Right, I see. It could be. Yeah. Be great. Yeah.
We've touched on this before, but here's a question, Jackie, from Rowan. There were a lot of people suspecting that Mick was a con man, being too perfect for Joy. like he had researched her, encouraging her to spend money on the hot tub to prove that she has money and to speed up the process of her coming to trust him, perhaps laying the foundations for more manipulation and extracting money from her. Did you ever have these suspicions about the character? And if so, do you still?
That's a really good one. I think it flashed through my mind that he seemed too good to be true, and we don't really know anything about him either. Like, has he been married? Has he got children? And he seems to be available all the time. So Jackie had my suspicions. I don't know that Joy did, because I just think she sees the best in people, and he makes her laugh, and he's kind to her and attentive, and what's not to like, really? I think maybe in the back of her mind, because she's had some bad experiences, maybe in the back of her mind she's, I hope this isn't all too good to be true. I hope this isn't all going to go wrong. But just, I think, a fleeting. I don't think she dwells on that at all.
Okay.
That's all right then. Rosemary has sent a message in saying, what is it with what is it with Rochelle, and how did you wash up in Ambridge?
I don't know. we honestly know so little. I remember when she comes, she says that she's clearly got divorced and is having a new start. And I remember her saying at one point that Rochelle had wanted her to go and live in Leeds to be near them, which I don't believe for a second that Rochelle would have said that. And she fell in love with Borsacher. But that's all we know. And there's never been anything else. She didn't know anybody else. It wasn't like she was moving to be near someone. It was more like she was moving a long way away from where she was from to make a brand new start. You know, I wondered for a little while, like, how she bought this house, this big house on the new estate, and, you know, she doesn't work. Well, she works in the shop now, but that's voluntary. So there's loads of stuff that we don't know. It's all in the hands of those script writers.
I think thinking it was a local council meeting when you made your entrance, Jackie, or I misremembered that.
Yes, basically, I don't know how it happened. She became the spokeswoman for the new estate, and she was the one that came to the meeting with this list of things we don't like the mucky pavements and all this kind of thing, just to annoy everybody. She didn't let anybody get a word in edgeways. Yeah,
wonderful.
That really wound people up. I remember that. It's like, oh, this character's awful.
Yeah. You've had the evolution.
That's a long time ago now.
Yeah. The next question is from Angie, who says, I'd like to ask Jackie if she thinks there are any aspects of Joy's character that are like herself, and if there's anything she's felt uncomfortable portraying.
Oh, that's a really good question. Has there been anything that's made me uncomfortable? I honestly don't think there's been anything that I've had difficulty playing. Is the bits like me. I think when I get nervous, I talk a lot and too fast and maybe interrupt people sometimes. So that I recognised that in someone who's pretending to be really outgoing and, you know, confident, but actually 9 times out of 10, they're not really. What else is like? I like to think I'm likeable, and I do try to help people. So I think there are some, you know, similarities, but I wouldn't jump in a hot tub with people I didn't know very well. And I would not pose naked for a painting class, art class. Definitely not. So she's got a lot more courage than me. I'll say that. She's braver than me, but yeah, that's what's great about our job.
Yeah. Jackie, you have answered this one, really. This is from Pat. She says, I'd like to know what you were told about the character when you were cast. As she says, as long as there are no spoilers, I know the writers play the long game, but this is the best bit. And just tell her we love her. There you go. Pat wants to know that we all love you. There you go.
So nice. So
Yeah.
nice that people like her now, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so, so lovely. It was so nice. I've got a couple of very good friends who are absolutely avid Archers fans and have been their whole lives. And they were beside themselves with excitement when I eventually was able to say to them that I was going to be in it. And now it's so lovely because they say, oh, we hear your voice. And it's like, oh, there's Jackie. And they're like, Jackie Joy. I think they get mixed up, but yeah. A lot of people have said to me that they love hearing her because she's got energy and enthusiasm and it comes across in her and they're like, oh, good, Joy's here. So that's nice to hear. It really is. It really is nice.
She cheers us up.
Yeah.
Cheers us
Isn't
up.
that nice?
Yeah.
Rather than bringing people down. I think that's
Yes.
nice.
Yeah.
Very happy about that.
Yeah.
Very. No, it is. It's lovely. Whenever I've told people that I'm going to be speaking to you, everyone's like, oh, I love her so much. But
so
to be
nice.
able to have friends who are into the Archers and then you be in it as well, that must be incredible for both of
Really
you.
lovely. It was really lovely to be able to tell them. But I've never ever given anything away. And to be honest, they don't actually ask me to because I don't think they really want to know. They want to hear it as we all do, coming through the radio. And I mean, when you're not in it, you don't know what's happening. And I listen just like everybody else and get shocked and shout at the radio and things. So I wouldn't never tell them anything that's gonna happen. It would spoil it really.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, we've got another message from someone called Rachel, and she's also said, tell her we all love her.
This is
all the
great.
love's coming in.
Oh, you're just keeping the ones from me who say, she gets on my nerves, I can't stand that woman.
None. Definitely, there were
some.
none of them.
Oh, there will be some. There's always a few, isn't there? But
No.
that's fine. I think that's good. I think that's
Yeah,
good.
it's nice.
Yeah.
No, they've said, ask her if Ambridge is the kind of place she'd like to live in real life.
No. No. Definitely not. Too small. Everybody knows what everybody else is doing. Having said that, I don't live in a massive place, but I'm a bit more urban, I think, personally. I'm not really a country girl at all. I get a bit nervous in the country. But nice to visit and then get back to a town. So no, sorry.
But Katie is absolutely right. There's not been one even slightly negative question or comment. Everything is full of love and positivity for you. So do know that. And the last question we've had is
So nice.
the last question is from Miranda, and this is again an important one. It speaks to me. When it comes to fish finger butties, because you made one recently for Helen,
Yes.
what bread does Joy use? Is it salad cream, mayonnaise, or tartar to go with it? And does she buy the industrial size fish fingers from the fresh counter in Waitrose or Underwoods?
Oh, really, really important question. I think it's gorgeous uncut bread that you cut and you can make them as thick as you want. Loads of butter, which then melts with fish fingers. This is me talking, isn't it, really? And I think tartar sauce, posh fish fingers, Waitrose.
Oh, it
I
sounds
think.
perfect.
Well,
Well,
midnight as well. Oh.
Yeah.
got to be done. Well, Jackie, we
Yeah.
come to the very last question of the interview. And each week when we interview someone, we ask them a question that they'd like us to ask the person coming on next week. And as you know, last week, we had Anne Cleves on, who was very keen to
Wonderful
ask you a
answers.
question.
Yes.
So this is her question. And we've touched on it a
Right.
little bit, but still. How would you like your storyline to pan out? Will you continue to be this wonderful, saintly person that I would love to get to know? Or is there some dark past that will come out in the end?
Well, if you're asking me as an actor, I would like a dark past, but not anything nasty from her. I think that I would like to find out what's caused her to be cautious and the odd little hints she's dropped about, having a difficult past. It would be really nice to find out that, get that fleshed out a bit. And maybe maybe not have a breakdown, but maybe allow people to help her open up a bit about what she's gone through, and because I think maybe she's a bit brave and puts on a brave face a lot. So maybe it'd be interesting to see that guard come down a bit, possibly. We'll see.
Wonderful. Well, it literally has been a joy to talk to you, Jackie, and thank you so much.
It's been a joy to talk to you guys. You again, Philippa, to meet you two. It's lovely.
Yeah.
It's because, you listen to me on the radio, but I listen to your podcast, and so it's just nice to be talking to you as well. So good, really nice.
Thank you so much for your time. We've loved every minute.
Oh, it's been brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.